Chappelle Show.
The Chappelle Show.
Let's start the show.
I've never seen the Chappelle Show.
It's great. You have to.
I've seen clips. I've never watched a whole episode.
It was probably pretty dated now.
Yeah, I'm not in. I'm not in. I don't care.
I watched some stuff. I watched some newer stuff now, and it's still funny, but it's definitely like, I think sketch comedy in general is super, super dated.
Unless it's the Widest Kids You Know.
Yeah. But even then,
you don't have to hear the audience laugh on that show. It's sketch comedy where there's no audience laughter pipe.
Well, that's true. That's different. That's a real thing.
That shit ages well. Better. That shit ages better. Laugh track anything does not age well.
No. I also I like very few skits.
Oh, we're live?
Yeah, we just went live. I like very few skits of this, but I watched a few skits of the Kroll Show, and that show was mostly trash.
Dude, that show's hilarious.
You're brave, dude.
Some of those,
I don't even like him in the league. I couldn't.
Some of the skits were funny, like the too much tuna is funny, the publicity stuff. But I think I can't remember how it came up. A couple of the skits came up, and I just realized that I just don't think he's all like his stand-ups, like his comedy's funny, but I don't his like voice acting and stuff. It's just all just Nick Kroll just doing these voices. Also, let me preface that by saying that I fucking hate Big Mouth, and I think it's the worst thing that's ever happened.
I'm middle of the road, so I've seen it all. I don't hate it. Obviously, I wouldn't have watched it all. But I also don't love it. I've just let that show happen to me.
The most recent season is the only season that I watched from beginning to end, and I liked some of it. And I think the show has concepts that I really enjoy. I like the representation of feelings in the show. I like that, like, anxiety is a mosquito and depression is like this big fat purple cat, and I like that stuff where I'm like, man, that's actually kind of smart. And like, if this was really well executed, like this could be like kind of smart. But then the show does this 1-2 punch of trying to hit you with like the gross out humor, and it doesn't hit for me. None of it does.
I don't like the gross out humor at all. Yeah. And that's why I hate the show, because I do like the overall tones of it, and then they do find a way to shoot themselves in the foot a lot with the gross stuff. But I do like it overall. I think that Nick Kroll is like an accidental brilliant comedian. Like, I don't think he's doing it on purpose, but I think he accidentally stumbles into a lot of like genius stuff. Like Rich Dicks is amazing. The two Rich Dick characters are so great. The Bobby Bottle Service, aka Bobby Bottle Service. That character is brilliant.
So is this off the Kroll Show?
It's off the Kroll Show. Bobby Bottle Service. So season 1's characters are trash. But he does find a few diamonds in the rough that, like Dr. Armand, Publicity.
You know what it is? I like the Kroll Show. It's just, and to his credit, he did this the right way. I like the Kroll Show, but there's too much. And to his credit, he ended it after like what, season 4 or 5? 3. Okay, so he was like, he knew like this shit's gonna be too much. Like, we can't keep doing this. Just the same characters over and over and over again. This is gonna be bad. And now, Big Mouth has reached it though. Like 4 seasons, dude. The shit's done. It's done.
I think it's done. I think it's done too. I think he knows when stuff's done. What's genius to me about Kroll Show, not really Big Mouth, but Kroll Show, is that you can tell he thinks that reality TV is super fascinating to him. Probably smokes a little and then watches reality TV, and he's realized that like at this point, like the reality TV has spinoffs of spinoffs, right? So in season 1, he does Dr. Armand, and then like, because he's this private practice doctor, and then he starts to take side characters in each of the skits and then do spinoff reality shows with them, which is what happens in real life.
Yeah.
And like season 1, Bobby Bottle Service does ghost bouncers, right? Like he's like, we most definitely got to bounce this ghost. And like by like season 3, he takes all of the people that are like Bobby Bottle Service and throws them into a gigolo house, right? Which is where Rafi is from the league. And oh man, I think it's brilliant. I love that every character meets each other by the end of the show.
Yep. I mean,
but it's also stupid.
I do think that Kroll Show is one of the better sketch comedy shows I've ever seen. Because again, I'm not big on sketch comedy. A lot of sketch comedy shows, especially when they take like that comedian and then they make it like the so and so show. You know, the blank show. So like, what was it? Nick Swartzen's show was trash.
So bad.
So bad. Schumer's show, like Inside Amy Schumer, Inside whatever, terrible. Like
I would never watch Key and Peele. I would never watch a whole episode of Key and Peele, but I will YouTube all of the best skits.
Yeah.
The one where he's calling his wife a bitch.
You said that though.
You
said that though.
That's on the first episode of the show, though. That's what's crazy about that skit.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
It's the very first episode of the show.
That's my favorite skit they do.
It's a really good.
And then the ridiculous football player names.
Yeah, the ridiculous. Yeah. And I've seen other shows rip that off now.
Unless your family's and Aaron Rodgers, he's ripped it off too. Did you see him do it this season? He did he did one of the dances that Peele did after he
yes. Actually, here's another super underrated character from the Kroll Show is the referee that tries to get along with all the players.
Yeah.
And he's always backpedaling like that, not working.
Well, I also love the way his body is. Like he pushes his gut out or whatever, like and pulls hikes his pants up.
Question. Does he do a character?
God damn it. I like the Kroll Show now.
Just watch the skits. Like, just pick a character and then YouTube it and do like best of and just watch all of them in sequential order of that character. Then it's pretty good.
Does he do a character like that's really good at foosball?
No.
That was a Community reference. He's one of the like
right.
He's one of the foosball players that are from like Russia or something or Sweden, and he does his shitty voices that he does.
He does do really bad impressions.
That's the part that I don't. That's actually the part I least like about. No, I least like everything about Big Mouth. But that is one of the things I don't like is that his specifically Nick Kroll's impersonations in the show are all the same voice. I also don't like the hormone monster for the male one specifically. I think is insanely gross. I don't like any of the. Is the grossest character in the show. I don't want to watch a show where they're like, ugh, jizz. Like, nope. Nope.
Well, and it's also a total just rip off of Will Arnett's actual voice.
It is, yeah.
Which is funny because he stole Will Arnett's lady in the first place, and which it was rude. Not into that. Swooped her right in.
I love Nick Kroll on Parks and Rec. Isn't he?
Well, that's where he swooped her up. That's where he swooped up Amy in the first place.
I love it. He goes, he's the douche nation. But then when he's gonna have the kid with Anne, or when Anne's looking for a dad, a sperm donor, and you find out he is he's actually a really smart guy who like went to like an Ivy League school or whatever.
Yeah. I like his character on that. I also like, you know who my favorite person on that show is? Constable Jam.
Oh,
for sure. You just got jammed.
Jeremy Jam is my favorite character.
If he's not your favorite character, you don't have a soul. He's like, when you go to his house for the first time, he's like, I love Asian shit. He has an actual quote he says. He makes her a what was it, scrambled eggs or like an omelet using his fucking hibachi grill.
Yeah, he's doing like Benihana or trying to be like Benny. But I love that he does the so they do the karaoke. The A start of karaoke. And But that guy, though, he's like a showrunner for like everything on like Cartoon
Adult
Network,
Swim.
right? Yeah, like on Adult Swim. Like he does like everything on that show. He's like a showrunner.
Mark Brandanowitz
He's so
is my
funny.
favorite character.
No.
Yep, Mark Brandanowitz, baby.
No, he's. This is a hill that Sean's gonna die on. We've already talked about this.
No,
But
the show doesn't start until he leaves.
No, that's not true.
2,
He was the show.
Yeah.
I stopped watching after he leaves.
well, actually, it's funny that you say that because he left the show actually. So I was just reading about this like literally this week. He left the show because the show was changing, and he was supposed to be like the straight man character on the show, but because they toned down other characters and developed other characters, so like they toned down Leslie and actually made her good at her job. They didn't necessarily need a straight man to Leslie anymore because she actually became really good at her job. On season 1, she's like kind of bad at her job. She's supposed to be like Michael Scott, and then he's supposed to be like Jim. But then they made her more likable and made her good at her job, and so they didn't really need Brandanowitz that much. And then they developed all the other characters like Ron and Aziz Ansari and like Andy and all those characters, and then they bring in like Ben and Rob Lowe, and like so it was like. See, so Brandanowitz on season 2, I actually like. I like him on
me too.
2, and
yeah, you do.
I do think they could have had room for him. I still think they could have had room for him. It's just I don't think that I think he as the actor he didn't like the direction it went. Like he wanted to be like the straight man character on the show. He wanted to be the Jim, but then everyone on that show kind of became Jim.
So
like. At a time, like they took turns being Jim, basically.
So we watched all of season 2 last Saturday and Sunday, and I realized that I do like him. I didn't like him before, but I realized I have this other theory about that show. When I say the real show starts in season 3, that's not what I mean. In season 3, they become caricatures of their characters in season 1 and 2. Like all of a sudden, the show goes from like a believable documentary style comedy to this over the top, there's no way this would really happen type of show. Completely changes. And every character escalates to that next level in season 3. And it's like he had no way to fit into that.
And I do agree with that too, except for I think in one way they did make it more believable with at least Leslie was making her insanely good at her job. That was one thing I always didn't like about The Office was like I love The Office, but it isn't very believable that Michael would have kept on to that job for so long. Whereas like Leslie in that first season, if she would have been that character all the way through, like, do we really want to watch The Office again where it's like this bumbling boss who just can't figure it out? Or is it more interesting that she's so like anal retentive and doesn't sleep and has like binders, like the crisis binders that are so organized and like that's more believable. Like, oh man, how does this manic kind of crazy woman like keep this job? It's like, oh, it's because she's really, really good at it. Like the being manic has like served her in this job. It's like I like that part. But
it's a great show.
Well, that's why I like Brandanowitz is because he was just a regular dude.
Normal.
He was normal.
He was fucking normal.
And then what's Aziz's character's name? Tom.
Yeah.
He just loves him, and he's just a normal dude, and Tom loves him, and that's like that was my favorite.
But then they give him that with Adam Scott's character though. They just transfer that love to Adam Scott. He's like, you're a nerd, but you're my friend. In season 3.
I don't need Adam Scott. I don't need.
I love Adam Scott.
I only like Adam Scott in Star Trek: First Contact.
I mean,
remember him in First Contact?
Fuck you.
I think he played one of the guys that's like he's on Worf's ship and he's like, "Sir, we're not going to survive. Wait, there's one more ship, the Enterprise."
I love Adam Scott. I thought he was great on Parks and Rec.
I just don't like Parks and Rec, man.
I do like I do like when Brandanowitz was like, could it happen? No. but maybe it'll happen? No.
I like Adam Scott in Party Down.
Party Down's a great show. Underrated.
Down's a great show. Also, Adam Scott in Wet Hot American Summer, the TV show.
Also a great show.
They just replace another character from the movie with him, and they act like nothing happened at all.
They're all old. They're all old, and
it's a prequel.
It's a prequel.
It's a prequel.
And Michael Showalter, or Mike.
Yeah.
Mike Showalter is noticeably 45 pounds heavier than he is in the movie.
At least.
Was the show good? I love the movie.
Hilarious, yeah. The movie's hilarious too, but the show's great. Everyone is so much older. Showalter is
except for Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd looks the exact same.
You know what's also awesome about that is that I'm glad that Bradley Cooper came back, and I'm glad he didn't care about being hot Bradley in it. He literally didn't try to lose any weight because for all of his movies he cuts some lbs, so he had kind of the double chin going on because he had to be clean shaven, so he can't use that scruffy jawline trick. He just accepted that he's gonna look old, and they wanted him to look as old as possible. They're like, we need to look as old as possible playing these 16-year-old camp counselors.
This is also megastar Bradley Cooper who came back to do that show. And when he did the movie, he was nobody.
Yeah,
so that's also huge. Also, speaking of Michael Showalter, have you guys watched Search Party on TBS?
No,
I heard it's awesome.
He's the writer and director of the show. He's the showrunner for it. He's also in the show a little bit. It's maybe from Arrested Development.
It's the kidnapping show, right?
Yes. And it's basically a tale about...
Maybe he's the main character.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going to say it's hilarious because it's not hilarious. It's dark humor. But it is. But there are some stuff in the show that is some of the funniest stuff I've ever seen. But it's also nerve-wracking. But it's also, it's a good show. But
the trailer made me sweat.
It's sometimes hard to watch because it's so the characters are so cringy in the show because they're these millennials. And I don't know, I watched some YouTube channel and tried breaking it down, saying that it's the perfect show about millennials. And I disagree. Mostly because I think these kids are all in New York also. And I feel that's always they're like, oh, this is how millennials are. And you're like, well, maybe, but I don't know anyone that acts like that because I feel like it's a big city thing. None of us are personal assistants.
That doesn't sound relatable to me.
No. So
but I will watch it. That's on the list.
It is a good show though. It's a good show. It's also a frustrating show though.
You're the first person I've talked to that has actually watched it. I see good reviews all the time, and I had no idea Mike Showalter was behind it. So that completely changes how fast I'm going to watch it.
One of the reasons why I started watching it is because Bree was watching it, and on the opening credits, I saw it was written and directed by Michael Showalter, and I was like, holy shit, this is probably a good show. And it is. And also, his character, for as little that's in the show, is hilarious.
And you know what's funny? So we talked about Wet Hot American Summer and how Bradley Cooper came back. We didn't even talk about how Paul Rudd comes back.
Oh, yeah. Totally does.
Because Paul Rudd is the best part of the movie because he's the best bad boyfriend ever.
The scene in the movie, by the way, that movie was made in 2001. They were too old to be 16 in that movie.
That's why they thought it was funny. So Michael Showalter, in the making of it documentary, talks about how then they thought it was funny that late 20-year-olds were playing 16-year-olds, and they thought it'd be even funnier if 40-year-olds were playing 16-year-olds.
The scene where Paul Rudd's character, where they're making him clean up after himself in the cafeteria, and he's acting like a shitty teenager, is probably one of the funniest scenes that's ever been in any show. It's so how he's he puts his hand up and he's just he's all mad he has to clean. He's throws it in like a teenager, how shitty kids are. And that movie is so good, and the show was really funny.
And they also finally let what is his name? John H. Benjamin. They finally let him actually be a human in something for once because he's just a can in the movie, and you don't know why. You have no idea why the can can talk, and then the TV show actually explains it a decade later, 2 decades later.
I think when they made the movie, I think Janine Garofalo was already in 2001. I think she was like 40.
She's 100.
She's 100 years old.
And Molly Shannon, is it Molly Shannon?
I think she was 40 in 2001. And then I also love, remember Christopher Maloney, like Law and Order's Christopher Maloney
who also comes back.
He comes back also. God, that's such a good show. I'm gonna have to rewatch it.
We're watching it. The only reason I even brought it up is because we're watching it tonight. We're watching the movie, not the show.
Well, Ken Marino's in that show, and I think Ken Marino is like highly underrated. Like, did you guys ever watch Burning Love? It was like a satire of The Bachelor.
I forgot about it.
It's the
and now
same,
I have.
It's the same people.
Yeah, Ken Marino is ridiculous, man.
He's so funny. He's underrated. He's
Party
in
Children's Hospital, Party Down, Children's Hospital, Burning Love.
Burning Love. So that, that's like a troupe. That's like a comedy troupe.
Yeah.
That's all the same people. A lot of them also did Reno 911 stuff. So yeah, like Jim Rash from Community, and like a lot of those people do that stuff too. But then like Ken Marino in Burning Love is probably one of the best performers. That show is so stupid, but it's so funny. And then Burning Love season 2 is funny too because they do like the Bachelorette, and like
I need to watch that.
In it, and oh my god, it's so funny.
I need to watch that. I remember it, but I don't remember how much of it I actually watched at this point.
It's so.
I
good.
really don't. I remember the show. It was completely out of my memory, erased until you just brought it up. I love when that happens.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to watch all of these now.
Sean, did you not like Wet Hot American Summer, the movie? I feel like you gave.
I've only watched it once. I know it's great and just ridiculous.
Oh, Michael Ian Black too. We haven't even met
Stella, dude. Stella, the Stella troupe. Michael Ian Black, Michael Showalter, and David, who also wrote the movie.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised that Jim Rash wasn't in any of these, because
it makes no sense.
Because all of these guys were also on, like Michael Ian Black, Michael Show, like all those guys went on Reno 911 a bunch. Like those guys all know each other too. So like the guy who plays like Dangle, like he's a part of that troupe too.
Oh yeah. Did you guys ever watch Quibi, which is already out of business, right? Like they brought back Reno 911 on there, like the short episodes. It's the same show. I watched quite a few. It's the exact same show. I'm hoping, even though Quibi didn't last very long, there's somewhere where you can like go watch.
Yeah,
Quibi's already
the stuff that was on there.
Oh yeah, Quibi died the same year it came.
What happened?
Their platform was based around only getting to watch stuff on a phone. Like eventually, you want to watch stuff on a bigger screen.
Yeah, well, and it was like fan made stuff too, right?
Well, it was 50. Every show. The premise was quick watch, right? You just want to watch something quick on your phone. 15-minute episodes, which sounds great if you're Adult Swim. Once again, also already on TV.
Yeah,
you can also do that on YouTube. Like I think that's where it went wrong. Is like you can do. It's a great idea is making content that's like 15 minutes long, like long enough for a dump was basically what they were thinking. So long enough for if I can watch it on the toilet, it's a good show. Like that's what their thinking is. But then like you can do that with any, like on YouTube, or you don't have to do a whole new platform for it. So the platform died. But the Reno 911 reboot had everybody back.
Right. And I never thought they would all. I thought it would be like just like the best of, right? Like they would probably just bring like 4 or 5 guys back, introduce new characters, which I think they did introduce a guy or two as new characters, but they still had everyone from all the seasons. Like even ones that weren't on all the seasons came back.
Well, even like Garcia came back, and I think that he left the show originally
early
under some bad pretenses too. Like I don't think he got I think there was some issues there with that actor. With him, just like he just didn't, like there's something that went on or whatever. I can't remember what it was, but even Garcia came back, which was awesome. And also, I mean, think about like the cast of like Reno 911. Like Niecy Nash is a huge actress now. Like Claus is a great show, and she's like blown up. And then I can't remember her name, but the blonde who plays
From the Goldbergs,
is on the Goldbergs, and
which
like,
is great.
She's got a great career out of it. And then of course Thomas Lennon, like love it.
She's the best character in the Goldbergs, by the way. The dad and the mom are like the redeeming, because I don't give a shit about the kids.
Nah,
I really don't.
Well, I don't know. I like Barry.
Barry's amazing, actually, because like the way Barry runs and
dude,
he reminds me. He runs the way that the two kids did on the Venture Brothers, like a cartoony, but hands behind the back.
Isn't that kid who plays Barry? Isn't he the little fat like kid version of Jack Black in the Tenacious D movie?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he
watched that movie.
Oh man,
you don't need to now.
We didn't even. It's been 25 minutes. We've said nothing about sports.
I was actually
basketball.
I was actually just gonna say, because I was looking at these. You know, we always try to pull up the standings while we're doing the show. There are only 3 teams in the entire Eastern Conference above 500.
Yeah,
3 teams. There's a couple that have fought back, like the Celtics got a much needed win, so they're only a game behind. Like the Raptors are at 500 and they're in 4th place. The Heat are 16 and 17 in 5th place. Like they're bad. We thought the Wizards were the worst team in the NBA, and they're only like 4 games back now, and they've been on a winning streak, and they might make the playoffs. Like that's how bad the East is that the Wizards might end up getting the 8th seed. There's like 1 team out. By the way, the last time we even talked about basketball on this show, the Cleveland Cavaliers were 11 and 11, and now they're 12 and like 22. Like that's how many games in a row they've lost since the last time we did a show.
Also, the Nets have done. It's nice when we take a long time to talk about it, because we could go whether like where we were wrong or where we were right, you know. But like one way that we were right is that the Nets have nearly taken a very clear lead of the East. Like I think it was pretty predictable, and like they've been gelling really well. Like it's cool, like whatever variation they use. Like if you watch the game and it's Kevin and it's Harden and KD, it's like, man, wow, what a great team. And then KD will be out, and it'll be Harden and Kyrie Irving and all, and then you're like, wow, this is a great team. And then Harden will not play, and it'll be Kyrie Irving and KD. Like, man, this is a great team.
Yeah, they showed the different combinations last week. The all 3 together have only lost 1 game, but then also the second best combo is Kyrie and Harden without KD. They've also only lost 1 game. But I think in general, that's just because over the last 2 weeks, the team's been together for a while now, and they're starting to gel. And I heard this take this week is that when they were not very good at the beginning of the season, they were throwing Steve Nash under the bus. But now that they're gelling, no one is giving Steve Nash any of the credit. So, right, like they were scapegoating him, and now like he doesn't get any of the praise. Now it's just the players are so good that it doesn't matter.
About being a fucking coach,
right?
In a situation like that,
in a season where I've chosen to be a lifelong Nets fan since Steve Nash was announced as the head coach of the Nets, and I've taken them as an East, it's been nice to watch them as kind of a yin to my yang, which is a difficult Blazers season. Not terrible, but it's been difficult again. Injuries.
Better than last year, though.
Better than last year, but injuries again. Man, I watched the Lakers game, and it's like, man, just in the 4th again. Like, you know, the Blazers just can't hold it together through the 4th.
In my opinion, if the Blazers end up with like a top 4 or 5 seed, it like Coach Terry might win Coach of the Year just because of what he's had to deal with, right? Like you can't give Steve Nash Coach of the Year. He's coaching 3 of the 5 best players in the league. You can't give Vogel from the Lakers unless they like go on a huge run without Anthony Davis. Maybe you give it to him, but they've kind of slumped without Anthony Davis. I think it's Portland. I think Coach Terry gets it as long as they just keep winning the way they're winning.
And
Well,
now,
what about Utah?
That's a good point. That's a good goddamn point.
with the Lakers sitting
yeah.
in third, with the Lakers sitting in third and looking like they could go like fourth also, this actually feels more reminiscent of like a typical like LeBron James team also, where we're starting to see the importance of being number one is that it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter to LeBron, it doesn't matter to them, because in the playoffs is where it matters. And actually, that to me makes the Lakers actually scarier now. I'm more scared of the Lakers now that they're in third.
Yeah. Well,
first.
Someone said LeBron's playing more minutes than he should right now too.
Well, and that's what they're talking about right now. Is at some point they got to start resting him, but like that means they need other options. And until Anthony Davis is back, do you really have other options? But like, are they so comfortable with their team that they're willing to say like, we might even drop lower than the third seed, right? We don't even care, and we think we're going to go wreck train in the playoffs. I don't know, man. If fans come back by playoff time, but if the fans come back by playoff time, you don't want to be the away team. You want home court advantage still. It's still important once fans are back. Not a huge difference when you're the Lakers and you're that talented. But
I can see them being okay with
4 games in Utah. You don't want to play 4 games in Utah is what I'm saying when fans are back.
Yeah. No. Especially with Utah playing so good. I watched that game, man.
I don't see them dropping that low, like to be like 8, but I could see them being okay with going at least one more or 2 more places and being still comfortable and feeling okay about it.
Well, where they're really lucky is I think the most they're going to drop, you're right, is 1, because I think Phoenix is going to keep winning. So Phoenix could pass them, right? But behind them is the Spurs, Portland, Golden State, Denver, all teams that I think are going to be up and down the whole rest of the year. Maybe Denver goes on a big run, right? But the Spurs run kind of got stifled by the 10 days off, and they were supposed to play the Knicks, the Pistons, the Cavs, and the Pelicans during the games that they missed. Now we play the Pelicans tonight, but we had won 5 of the last 6. Like our momentum was there, and then that happened, and then we had to come back against OKC a couple days ago with 6 people out, 5 because of COVID, and DeMar out because his dad passed, and like, we had to play people that haven't touched the court this year. So I think their momentum's gone. I don't think the Lakers are going to drop that much because I don't think the people below them are going to pass them. Portland's banged up, right? Like,
yeah,
maybe they can rest LeBron. It's just, man, I wouldn't.
I think if the bench was looking a little more spicy, but
they're not spicy right now.
Don't look good. Watching
that's a mild bench.
That Jazz game was hard to watch, man.
But that's what the Jazz are doing to everyone.
Yeah, but I didn't. That's not. Well, then I watched like the end of was it the Wizards they lost to or the who?
Yeah, they lost to the Wizards in overtime.
Yeah. And that, like, I watched a little bit of that, and I was just like, God, they just don't look good.
But the thing about the Lakers is every single team that's bad, they're going to play their hearts out when they play the Lakers because they're the defending champs. And that's like, if you're the Wizards, that's your one televised game of the year, right? Like, it's your one national TV. By the way, the Spurs have 0 national TV broadcast games this season. 0. Every team at least gets 1 or 2 pity ones. We got 0 this year, and we're above 500. That's crappy.
That's disrespectful.
And I noticed this the other day. DeMar DeRozan, when he goes into the paint, he gets banged up. And if we're talking about other players that play like him when they're driving the lane, Harden, LeBron, any of these guys, they're getting those foul calls. They're getting the superstar calls. And he's our best player. He should get the same calls, and he does not. And he gets technicals a lot. I think he led the league last year in technicals because he's so frustrated. He's like, I'm not saying I really got fouled, but I'm saying every other dude that gets into this situation gets that call. Mm-hmm. And I don't think the league cares. Like, I think they're like, we're a superstar league. Your team doesn't have superstars. We're not going to market you. We're not even going to try to create a superstar because they can. If they want a dude to be a star, the media can make him a star, right? Like, if they want the best player on any team to be marketable, they'll market them. But DeJounte is having the best year of his career. Keldon Johnson's really stepping up. DeMar definitely played at all-star caliber so far this year, and they're just sweeping us under the rug because they don't think they're marketable. I don't know why. I think they are, but maybe they're not. I'm biased. I'm biased.
I mean, you're biased, but you're not wrong on it. I think you're spot on. I think for whatever reason, I don't know if it's if it's just because they don't have a, like, I think DeRozan's a superstar, but maybe it's because I liked him in Toronto. I liked him moving to San Antonio. I liked the story behind it. I liked that he was like hurt, like emotionally was sad that he was leaving Toronto, and then he goes to San Antonio, and like Coach Pop's like, hey, you should like it here, and we really like you.
But it just makes you wonder. It makes you wonder if fans create superstars or if the league does, right?
Yeah.
I think in like Zion Williamson's case, it's a combination of both, right? Like the league recognized that young people who saw him on YouTube wanted him to be big. So the Pelicans are below 500, guys, and he made the All-Star team.
Yeah. That's ridiculous. Every time I watch
Chris Paul,
I'm not that impressed. I'm honest.
Chris Paul made the All-Star team over Devin Booker on the same team because the league markets Chris Paul. And like for some reason, they don't understand that Devin Booker is a top 5 player. And if they marketed him well, I think kids like him.
Yeah.
So is that how?
I don't know.
Is the Pro Bowl the same way? How does the Pro Bowl work?
Fans vote. It's all fan vote.
It's so stupid.
But what's nice about the reserves in the NBA, I believe, is that like Anthony Davis is too hurt to play, so they like the coach can go replace him with Devin Booker. Quinn Snyder, once again, the Utah Jazz coach, like he can replace anyone who gets hurt with whoever he thinks deserves it, which I think is awesome, right? Like the coaches have some say. And I think that's the case for Major League Baseball as well. They have 5 spots or something like that. I could be completely wrong on the number. A certain amount of spots on each side where the coaches get a pick. Because like then they can go find a guy like DeRozan or Devin Booker, and they go, "We know you deserve this. We're going to give it to you because the fans suck." Yeah. But I don't think that NFL has that at all. But no one watches the Pro Bowl, so who gives a shit?
I don't even watch the All-Star game. I don't watch any of it.
I don't like the All-Star game really, but I do like all the other stuff that weekend. Yeah, I like the 3-point. I like the dunk. I love the rising stars, the first and second year players.
I like rising stars. I like the dunk and 3-point. The All-Star game I don't care about unless Fergie sings the national anthem.
And you get to see Draymond laugh at her.
Still,
and everyone else.
Did you watch that the other day? You watched Draymond Green coaching up LaMelo Ball while they were playing against each other?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, they're playing each other, and he's all coaching them up and being actually kind of cool. It's like, what the hell's going on here, Draymond Green? When did? And I've also seen Draymond Green as like a commentator and stuff. It's like, when did this guy get wholesome? Like, he's like pretty wholesome, actually.
I think he's got a good personality, personally.
He's smart. I hate him, but I like him.
I've always said that I would love Draymond Green on my team, but I hate him otherwise. But
I got a visitor, guys.
But having seen him on TNT, like NBA and TNT and stuff, like when you see him as like I think he has a future in broadcasting. I think that's where he'll go, is broadcasting. He's pretty funny. He's a pretty funny guy. He's he's not just now that I've got to know him a little bit more, he's not just the yup and nope guy anymore. Like just this yup,
Yeah, that's a good point. I guess I've also started to like him, which I never thought that I would. Because when they were in their prime, so if they were still winning championships, though, I bet we'd still hate him.
Yeah, I think that's what it is that maybe that's part of it. Maybe that's part of the wholesomeness, is maybe it's more enduring now that the Warriors aren't like this juggernaut. Like they're fighting to get into the playoffs. Where
are they at?
I think in the
7. They're the 7th seed.
So they're really working at it. They don't have Klay Thompson. It's it's really like the Draymond Green and Steph Curry show right now. And
isn't that rookie popping off still or no?
Wiseman, he missed some games. But Kelly Oubre has really started to step up finally. Andrew Wiggins has had some okay games. I think Andrew Wiggins is still overall as a disappointment, considering he was the number 2 overall pick at one point in time, and the Timberwolves thought him and Anthony Towns were going to create something there. So Wiggins, career-wise, just kind of seems underwhelming, but I think he fits that role really well. And I think once they have Klay Thompson back, they have a really good starting 5.
I also think that I can't dare I say this, but I'm actually looking forward to the Warriors in the playoffs. I'm looking forward to see what they do. Like they're scrappy and they feel like this underdog story because of everything that happened last year with injuries and it's interesting. Yeah.
Well, like Steph Curry's like as exciting as ever, I think.
And he's definitely not the dislikable part of that story ever. Like, even when they were winning championships, no one was ever like, oh, Steph Curry's who I hate. Like, shut up. Like, no one.
If you hated him, it's because he just beat your team and he balls out.
Yeah. If you hated him, it's because you're an OKC fan. And
yeah.
I kind of didn't like him because, you know, he always like made the 3 and then did like a little shimmy or a gesture. It was very Cam Newton-y and I didn't like it.
It is.
But, come on. What's wrong with Cam Newton? You see Cam Newton getting fight with little kids on the internet or at
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
That kid got a lot of heat for that though, and he put out some like big old apology.
Yeah, he apologized.
Well, he had some nuts talking to Cam Newton like he was
apologize.
I feel bad for Cam Newton. I really do, because I liked Cam those 2 years where Carolina was popping off, him and Greg Olson running the show.
Maybe I
just like Greg Olson, but
I mean I like Cam. I was rooting for Cam on the Patriots.
I would have liked him to have a better season for sure. Only because
he wants to come back.
Yeah, to the Patriots.
He wants a job. Yeah, of course he wants to come back. He wants a job, but
I just don't think he was given that good of a chance.
Well,
why not draft a quarterback and bring him back for one more year though?
Yeah.
Why not?
What do you got to lose?
They have a middle of the road first round pick.
Go ahead.
I think who they'll like is probably the dude from Alabama, quarterback from Alabama, and Zach Jones. You just sit him for a year.
I heard the Falcons are going to get Justin Fields, man.
That's not what I heard.
No. So I
heard something else. You guys want to hear what I heard? But go ahead and you talk first. I'm going to find it first. Is it Collins crazy ass? No, I don't listen to him anymore. I hate him. Dude, Colin for the last this last week on every day of the show basically spent almost an hour each day like talking about how bad Ben is, like how bad Ben Roethlisberger is as a quarterback. And first off, the dude's been playing for 17 years. Yeah. Secondly,
he's just old.
Colin has also been like a big Ben guy back in the past. So
he's a flip-flopper. He always has been.
He on the show, he's like talking about how he's always been critical of Ben. And I'm like, no, you haven't. You fucking liar.
He's back on his shit talking on Baker.
Oh, he never quit that.
He's just butthurt. He's just butthurt right now because he's worried that Russell Wilson's going to leave Seattle, and that's all he really cares about.
Is he a Seattle fan?
Yeah, he's from the Northwest. He's a low key Seattle homer.
I just don't know how you can like such a shitty team, you know.
Oh, dude, agreed. I agreed. That's like being a Gonzaga fan, man.
If Russell leaves Seattle, I will throw a fucking party in this room. We'll live stream it. We'll get fireworks in here. We're gonna throw a party.
I have seen.
Go ahead. He brought on this dude this week who he brings on every week, but like he gives like a bunch of hot takes, and his hot take was Russell to Dallas, and you could just see Colin Cowherd throwing a fit in his head. Like you could look into his eyes and see him butthurt about it.
I did see that. What do you think that would go down? Like a straight trade with like Dak or what?
Not a straight trade. They're going to let Dak go.
Yeah, I mean, obviously. Okay, they released Dak.
No, Dak will go where he wants.
Mm-hmm.
And then the hot take was 2 first-rounders and Ezekiel Elliott for Russ, which is nasty.
That is nasty.
I have seen a few things now where a few projections where somebody was saying that the Steelers would make a play to trade up to either take like Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Which Mac Jones makes sense to me.
He's going to be a great Patriot though.
He is, but I mean, as far as what he looks like and stuff though, like for the Steelers, like if they're trying to like get a new Ben, makes sense. But also I've seen Justin Fields in the conversation, like oh, they could trade up to try to get Justin Fields too. And it's like, nah, I don't think so. But I think what the Steelers will do is they just showed they're gonna get Ben back. But I honestly think they'll try out Dwayne Haskins though. They'll actually try it out to see.
I mean, what's the point of trying to get him and not see what, just to have someone
Well, exactly. But then also, I mean, they're going to try him out. They wouldn't have made a move on him otherwise. But then also where they're currently picking in the first round is exactly where they can get Kyle Trask from Florida. And if you want to talk, I've been saying it since week 1 of college football season. The dude looks like Ben Roethlisberger. Same size, same gut, same mobility as Ben when he was young. And
just can't take him down, can move a little.
He's the last projected first-round quarterback. He's the only guy who's going to be there if they don't want to trade up.
If they don't trade up, you're right. It makes sense if they don't trade up. And actually, the Steelers aren't really all that known for trading up. So
no, I don't remember the last time
it'll be for a lineman. That's where they, because they got to replace Pouncey.
They do got to start doing that though. Like realistically, if you're gonna go and they already talked Dwayne Haskins into coming to town, right? Like if you're gonna do that, your quarterback room should be Ben, him, and then they brought in 2 other quarterbacks this last year, right? They brought what's his name back,
Rudolph,
dude from Tennessee. The dude from Tennessee with no eyebrows. Dobbs. And then they went and also got another quarterback. Who was the other quarterback they got mid-season? Dude from Ohio State. It's escaping me right now.
I have no idea.
What's his name?
Doesn't matter. So they have a quarterback room, is all I'm saying.
Okay. But they don't have a quarterback for the future.
But that's what they're hoping Dwayne Haskins is.
But we all know that he's not.
JT Barrett,
baby.
We all know that Haskins is not the answer.
I think. Well,
I don't know that.
I don't know that either. No,
I don't know that.
I just don't think.
I know it's not Mason Rudolph, and actually, from everything I've seen, because I follow the team, from everything I've seen on the team, they don't think so either. Now, they're gonna get rid of him at some point. Mason Rudolph's gonna go away. Why
don't you guys get Ryan Fitzpatrick over there? Is that a team he's played on yet?
No, but I think Fitzy's actually coming back now, right? I think
Eagles.
If you're the Dolphins, you just keep both of them again. You keep Fitzy and Tua all over again. Run it back. I
honestly think they should have.
If you can't get Deshaun Watson, just run it back.
I think they would have had a better chance if they would have let Fitzmagic keep running that out, dude.
We all know that at this point, right?
Yeah.
I think everyone's willing to admit it, probably even them, but they're not going to come out and say it.
I think my fantasy would have been better for it because I had Parker, and when Fitz was in, Parker would go off, but when Tua was in, he wouldn't get shit.
It's all about your fantasy.
It is. I was in 6 leagues. It's all about the
thing about Ben is I'm okay with them bringing him back. It's just, dude, you can't have him throwing 60 times a game. You've got to get a running. They need a running game.
Well, that's the thing too. I think Connor's a great running back.
Yeah, but they need somebody else too. And traditionally, they've always had a speed back and a power back. They need to go back to that. They need to get somebody else in there to be a good, a complement to Connor.
Snell was the other guy, right?
Yeah,
Benny Snell.
And he's not. He's just he's mediocre.
They need to get like a power back and they need to get that running game again. And Ben, I mean, like, dude, like there's so much criticism, like, well, look, he can't play for longer than 4 months. Like, dude, you have him throwing 60 times a game. Like, come on. Like, you got to give him some help in there. But the Steelers, they're going to let him play until he doesn't want to play because that's what the Steelers do. But to people who are critical of that, though, I want to remind, especially like Steelers fans who are like, get rid of Ben. We need a plan for the future. I have a feeling that these people do not remember the years prior to Ben. And I think that's the problem is the dude before we got Ben, it was like Tommy Maddox. And we didn't have a starter quarterback for a decade. Like, I mean, I love Cordell Stewart, great times with Cordell, but come on, like you can't. Once you lose that franchise quarterback, it's not just as easy as just bringing somebody in to replace him.
It's like after Steve Young, the Niners had like, Jeff Garcia and
and the Dolphins had 1,000 people since Marino, 1,000 at least.
Yeah.
And so they
Jets. Have they ever had one? But Joe Namath. Who else?
What? Oh, I saw
Chad Pennington.
I saw some stats the other day. It said that the Browns, in the entire time that Ben has been the starting quarterback for the Steelers, the Browns had 21 starting quarterbacks.
Dude, you know who was my favorite? What's his name? I can't even remember his name, but he was my favorite.
Fucking Mayfield.
Oh, dude, I'm a Baker. Johnny Manziel. I thought that was silly.
Everyone thinks that was silly.
Johnny thinks that was silly. He'll be the first to admit it.
Yeah.
I forgot Robert Griffin. Man, they've had a whole load of people in there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Colt McCoy, baby.
No,
21 since Ben got that job.
Colt was the best. Colt McCoy was easily the best. Like Baker ain't shit. So
remember Couch? Couch was supposed to be the guy.
Eric, yeah. Well, he was a number 1 pick. So yeah.
Okay, so it was
man, that is just bad.
Kessler. Cody Kessler, man. I like Cody Kessler.
Is he what brought you on board? He was the guy?
Yeah. I mean, so I was talking to my buddy. So this is what happened when he was like, hey, man, because he's a Titans fan and a Seattle fan. He's like, you might as well just have 2 teams. Like, why not? Have one on the East, have one on the West. And I was like, I mean, yeah, you're right.
I do that with every sport other than football, really.
So, I can't do it in football. People talk too much shit. I can't have more than one.
So I picked the team that was worst at the time.
Yeah.
Was the Browns. It could have been the Jets too, but I
we know what you did.
Browns, dude.
I remember you being a Browns guy when they had 0 wins.
Yeah. So Cody Kessler was like, I like because it was him, Griffin. I forgot McCown was there.
Yeah, you bet.
I haven't picked an NFC team for the NFL, but for every other sport I do. I mean, I like baseball. I like the Cubs and the Mariners.
So I guess it was right around. So I picked the team right before Manziel got drafted. So the quarterbacks at the time were Hoyer, Jason Campbell, Brandon Whedon.
Remember Deshaun Kaiser should have been better too.
Yeah, what happened? And is he even playing?
No.
Is he even a backup anywhere?
No.
Why was he so bad?
Because he sucked. Because he went to like Notre Dame. He fucking sucks.
Dude,
he went to a bad school who can't teach you how to play NFL football.
Was that the same draft class as Deshaun Watson?
Yeah, Deshaun Watson, it was.
They could have had Watson.
And then who else? Yeah, they could have had, because they had the first round pick, right?
They had the first round pick for like.
Yeah. And they picked Kaiser over Watson.
Yeah.
Ugh. You cannot draft a Notre Dame player in any round and think they're going to be good.
Feeling about him.
Big arm. Hit a huge arm. And he was mobile.
Yeah. But he just couldn't get it done. Yeah. So
Notre Dame will trick people into thinking that they can play a sport at all, and it's crazy.
Did you guys know in 1996 and 1998 season they had suspended operations?
Sure.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Everyone knows that, Sean. Jesus.
I didn't know that.
Neither did we.
That's crazy.
Well, no, I mean, the current Baltimore Ravens are the old Browns.
Right. Right.
And the new Browns are the new.
And the Colts are the old Ravens, right? The Baltimore Colts moved to in the middle of the night. Great story. Great
dude,
story.
I just don't know how you guys hate on Bakey Boy, dude.
It's from college.
Honestly, man. I wish Tyrod Taylor would have had. I wish Tyrod Taylor would have been the guy.
Poor guy.
But he never even gets like a chance every time. Same thing in LA. And
LA. I mean, in Buffalo, I loved him in Buffalo. See, I'm kind of bummed. I should have picked Buffalo as my team because they were bad at the time when I picked.
If I had an AFC team, and I will say it would have always been them.
If the Steelers were not in the AFC, if the Steelers were not in the AFC, I would take Buffalo as my other team.
In my opinion, best uniforms in football. Number one. Number two, they're the Buffalo Bills. I mean, and they messed up by not being the Buffalo Buffaloes. Like, how do you make that mistake? Like, you have a buffalo on your helmet, you're in Buffalo, and you're not the Buffalo Buffaloes. Idiots.
Also, I don't know a fan base that's more enduring than that fan base.
Dude, did you see how many tables got broken when they lost that game? So many.
Nothing more endearing than a broken table, my friend.
But that's such a good fan base, though. They go sit outside at the airport when they're coming home and like below freezing temperatures to cheer those guys on. And
they have a guy that goes and tailgates and makes pizza. He does like a kind of like a brick oven type thing.
Yeah, and he puts it on like a cart or whatever.
Yeah.
Brings it to the games.
And he he cooks them at the games.
Right, exactly. Brings the whole thing, the oven on the trailer to the games. Crazy. People do that at every stadium, by the way. There's always one.
The Barstool Sports guy reviewed his pizza. That's why it's a little probably more.
It's famous now. Infamous.
Yeah.
Infamous.
I was going to try a clip of it, but I don't care.
Speaking of clips, why do we not have that?
Auction off this code?
Thanks for watching the show, guys. I guess you guys got to the point of the show that we're auctioning off the leprechaun codes.
So I should probably redeem this now because someone's going to pause it and take it.
No one's going to do
that. 0 people. 1, no one's watching. 2,
You would have better luck holding up an old Penguin club card and having somebody take that.
Listen,
I'm sorry, Sean, but my mom is not stealing that code. Who's the only person watching?
How many eyeballs do we got right now?
Oh, there's 6 right now, and none of them are Leprechaun fans.
That's bull.
I can tell you straight up.
Unless 5 of those views are Warwick Davis.
Okay, well, one of them is he's a long time fan of the show. I'm actually going to text Warwick right now.
Didn't Hornswoggle from WWE play him recently? Play Leprechaun?
Yeah, so let me you guys, let's revert back to talking about TV and
talking about sports anymore.
And I wanted to give you my pitch on my new podcast.
Okay.
That I want to do.
That's a popular segment on the sports show where Sean gives us pitches for better.
Yeah, where I pitch new ideas. So I am gonna do it once a week. I'm gonna start it soon. So I know you'll probably watch the movie, Derek.
Zach, we've seen it.
You could just tell me about it. Just tell me about it.
Well, that's the thing. I wanted you to maybe watch the trailer. I'd read you the synopsis. I'd have you watch the trailer. I'd read the synopsis to you, and then I'd kind of like tell you from memory what it was about, and like give you my thoughts on it. But then, like, if Derek watches it too, but then if neither of you want to do it, I'm just going to do it by myself and talk to no one.
I actually had a similar idea where I was gonna do a show with Bree where I try to tell her an entire movie from just my memory and try to convince her to watch it.
Well, so what I wanted to do was watch it sober and then get a little drunk and then try to retell it to Zach or you or both of you.
I love it.
When you say a little drunk, you mean like pretty drunk.
So like right now, I'm one of these in, and like I'm sipping an IPA. So like maybe I would get buzzed up before we even.
This is when you would start, but then you keep drinking as you explained it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Exactly. So it's like Drunk History.
Your Drunk History is that's a movie.
I want to call the podcast
Drunk History.
Dragons, Ghouls, and Spaceships because I want to do bad sci-fi, bad horror, bad fantasy.
So this was a TV show, right? Already.
Was it?
Well, Space Odyssey or no?
Science Theater.
Science Theater.
You were almost there.
Yeah. Science. Well, they're a big fan. They're a big fan of the show.
But that's exactly that show.
Oh yeah. I mean, but like and I'm essentially giving like a review. It's just like everything else. But I'm very passionate. So I found the first segment of movies I want to do.
The first movie or first movie?
It's actually a saga. There's 5 of them.
So I have to listen to you explain all 5 of them in one sitting?
Not one sitting. I'll do a movie a week. It's called Mythica. It's on Amazon Prime. It's called Mythica. The first movie was called Mythica. It's not. Where is it? Come on.
I want to do another show where I explain it's either a B-rate movie or the plot of a porno, but I'm not going to tell you. And then I explain. And then I get just smashed. And then I explain it to you, and then at the end you have to try to tell me if it was a porno or like a C. Huh?
You get smashed, and then you smash me.
All that happens, yeah. Then we act it out.
It's called Mythica: Quest for Heroes. That's the first one.
What if we did this exact same idea, but every movie we did every week was the Dungeons and Dragons movie from 2000 with Marlon Wayans?
Hold that thought.
And we never did anything different. And every week the spoiler alert was, oh, that's the same movie.
And it's just...
Hold that thought. So I just ordered this on Blu-ray. It would be one of the movies I would wrap back around to. It's the double pack.
The double pack.
The double pack. Blu-ray. Yeah, it's the Dungeons & Dragons, the Marlon Wayans. I love that movie.
It's real bad.
Yeah.
My favorite part about the movie is the bad guy and his blue lip gloss that he wears.
Oh, yeah. I wish
Guys, I'm not going to lie to you. I forgot this existed also.
So good. I saw it in theaters. I'm pretty positive.
In a faraway world.
All people
In a world.
free and equal.
The child is not fit to govern an empire.
That's the same child from Neverending Story too.
Yeah. No, it's Thora Birch from Beethoven.
Oh yeah. And Fly Away Home, right? With the duck.
Good kingdom.
What can I do to stop Profion?
If you could obtain the Rod of Seville, you could control Red Dragon.
God.
Yes, we lay low, let the whole thing blow over, come back, rob everybody.
There's one small problem.
I kind of committed us to find it.
The best part is that same actor is in Aragon, which was a flop.
I was just going to say how this movie's better than Aragon.
It is better than Aragon, which I watched a week ago.
Whoa.
Slowly.
Do you like that guy's lipstick, though? That's my favorite part.
Well,
My favorite part of any of these movies is when they say, like, it's like Pippin in the first Lord of the Rings or second Lord of the Rings when Gandalf's like, don't touch that, and he always does. There's always that part in all these movies where like, don't touch it. He's like, zoinks.
Zoinks. He pulls a Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
So those would be this double pack would be on the list of movies we would wrap around to.
I love it. I've seen it and I'd love to talk about it.
So
I would also throw the movie.
You'd have to explain it to me.
Oh, we'd get to the core. By the way, it's on Amazon. I've looked at it several times since our conversation.
I've watched The Core so many times.
So what really brought this to my attention? So while I'm working, I put on movies in the background, and I was like, I just need to talk about these. I need to help people find these movies who would watch it. Like, there's people who watch bad movies, and I need to help them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I watched this movie called Hawk the Slayer.
Mm-hmm.
Did I tell you guys about it? Did I send you a picture in the chat?
No, but it sounds great.
Oh, it's called Hawk the Slayer. Let me show you the movie poster. I'm just going to send it in our Facebook because I don't want to spoil it. This is something I kind of want to save for the podcast.
Okay.
So I'm just going to send it to you guys personally.
Speaking of which, you guys, I saw a preview for the new Mortal Kombat, and it looks great.
Mm-hmm.
You thought it looked good?
Honestly, Sub-Zero looked top tier.
I thought it was just Warner Brothers trying to like diddle us again. That's all I thought when I watched the trailer.
Is it Godzilla?
They're just trying to diddle us.
No,
I
dude.
would be upset if the soundtrack's not in it, and I know it's not. So I don't know if it's worth watching, but it does look better than the movies.
Dude, I think it looks great. I think it has a lot of potential, but it was a trailer. You can spruce those up, man. So who knows?
Yeah.
I'm not.
You'll see it. You'll watch it.
What about?
We're gonna watch it together.
I'll watch it 7 years from now for sure.
No. I'm gonna take a trip and we're gonna go see it in theaters.
What about Godzilla versus Kong?
I haven't watched the trailer for it yet, actually.
But so the problem with that is that the Godzilla movie was dog shit, and then the Kong movie was great.
Yeah, but was
so conflicting for me?
Was it great because John C. or whichever
John C. Reilly for sure?
It was great because
for sure. When he comes into the movie, the whole movie changes.
Yeah, agreed.
It's brutal before that. It's just everyone getting wiped out until he comes in.
I still have a deep love for Peter Jackson's King Kong. It's super long, but I will never be able to get the bugs eating the people in the pits out of my mind ever.
Never watched it.
I watched it in theaters with Adam Olinger.
Honestly, didn't even know it. Was that the one with Jack Black?
Yeah.
Yes.
Then I've heard of it at least.
I want to do a new show. Aside from your show, I want to do a new show where I guess what movies has definitely not seen, or not seen, or most likely hasn't seen.
So that's what. This is what confuses me. You've watched all of these garbage TV shows, but you haven't watched movies.
I only watch good TV shows. I don't know what you're talking about.
You're talking about Big Mouth. You said it was bad the whole time, but you've watched it all.
He said.
I said it's conflicting because it's also good.
It is also.
I've also dated a lot of women who like that show, so like I never put it on.
Oh, yeah.
But
so what is it about TV that draws you in, but not movies?
TV's better than cinema by far right now. Like not even close.
It sounds like you
stopping points. You can stop watching a show after 30 minutes.
Is that what it is? Is it?
Not only that, but if you went back a decade, Sean, like when I worked at a movie theater, I fucking watched 6 to 10 movies every single week, either at the theater or at home.
Did you work at the one? Did you work at the new one in Lewiston?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Did you work with my brother there? No, you were probably
there after me.
Yeah.
There after me.
So, well, yeah. So
I used to watch movies. I just don't. In the last decade, I just haven't had a desire to watch a bunch of movies.
I guess I did work at a video store for 6 years.
You've watched all the Marvel movies.
Not all of them. I haven't seen Captain Marvel.
Most.
I haven't. And I'm not gonna
put a little emphasis on the most there.
That's the only one I haven't seen.
Because you watched the X-Men movies, haven't you?
See,
yeah, I watched Dark Phoenix in theaters.
Oh my god,
I haven't seen.
You're
I
dirty.
haven't seen all of those.
You're dirty. Did you leave disappointed?
Yes, and the person that I went with liked it, and I was like, "We got to break up."
I saw.
2 weeks later, yeah.
Nice. I saw the first 3 X-Men movies, and then I watched some of First Class. I watched some of Days of Future Past. I did not watch Apocalypse. I did not watch Dark Phoenix.
So you don't finish a movie. If it's bad,
well, when I say some, it's usually because they're on TV.
Oh, okay.
And I'll watch it with like it has commercial breaks and and like I'm not really paying attention.
You can do other shit while it's on.
Yeah.
Like I'll put on stuff while I'm like playing a video game. So like I've watched most of like up until the last couple of years I hadn't seen all of the Harry Potter movies, but I watched them like Breeze now maybe. I've watched them all now. But
Yeah.
I hadn't seen them in order, and I'd only seen them on like ABC Family. So I didn't know.
Do you like them?
I like the last ones more where they're older.
Yeah. They don't get good, I think, till 4.
Goblet of Fire, I think.
Yeah, 4.
That's
Goblet of Fire.
That's the one where Edward dies, right?
His name is Cedric
Yes.
Diggory. Show a little respect, please.
Edward.
By the way, you guys know that I watched all the Twilights in one sitting, right?
I don't know how you fucking could.
I did it on pre-Christmas warm-up dinner I had some friends over. I watched every Twilight in a row. So this is why I want to do this podcast, because I am invested in these kind of things.
I like Derek's idea of just a spin-off of the spin-off, right? So we're going to have, by the end of next week, we're going to have 5 podcasts. And I like the one where it's me and Derek, and he just has to guess movies that I've seen or haven't seen. And every time that he's right about something that I haven't seen, I have to take a shot of grain alcohol.
Grain out. Vodka?
You'll die. I know what movies I can mostly guess what movies you have never seen because you have not.
So here's the catch: you only get 20 guesses per episode.
20 guesses. Well, how about you do? So how about you do a couple movies and he gets like 3 guesses a movie?
I'll win. Win every time.
Here's the plot, though. Here's the plot. For proof, if I say I've seen it, I have to explain what I think it's about. And then if I haven't seen it, I also have to explain what I think it's about.
What if we made it more challenging and the movies that you have seen, I have to tell the viewers what year he watched it in.
Not like
because it'll never be the same year it came out.
Will that be the
And then for the ones that I saw the year it came out, and it's even more sad because it's movies like Dark Phoenix.
I cannot wait.
How would you do that over fucking Captain Marvel?
I cannot wait.
Captain Marvel looks like shit.
It's not. It's one of the better movies.
I cannot wait for the year 2045 when I get to talk to Zach about watching The Irishman on Netflix.
What's The Irishman?
I still haven't watched it. That is hilarious.
Another Scorsese.
A Scorsese film. One of
He
the
makes
four
something-
movies done.
3 hours long.
He's made a movie after The Departed.
So here's my problem with Scorsese is
I haven't seen Shutter Island.
that's not Scorsese though, is it?
Yes, it fucking is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Shutter Island was Scorsese?
100%.
I'm on IMDb, don't worry.
Wow, I can't believe you guys didn't know that. I haven't seen it.
It is Scorsese. Wow.
I actually do like that movie, so
I've not seen it.
whatever. Scorsese, you dog you.
I have not seen that movie. Somebody
I have
for me, and I know how it ends. So
I like
yeah, because it's a twist, right?
it's just weird because it came out when Inception did, and they're like almost the same premise. Like the premise is your ex-wife or your wife is fucking batshit crazy, and
that came out in 2010. Jesus, it really did.
I saw it in theaters actually.
It took me 3 years to watch Inception.
I saw that in theaters.
At least. I think I might have watched Inception in 2015.
So did working at the movie theater ruin it for you?
I don't know if I've seen Inception.
Did it ruin movies for you? Is that why you don't
Did
like
you see Interstellar all the way through, Derek?
No.
What?
It's really good.
Movie's boring as fuck.
Oh my god, dude! Don't.
But
even
the end's a good payoff, I think.
Oh no, I haven't seen it all the way through. That's right.
The end's a good payoff.
The bookcase.
Don't bring that. What are you talking about? That movie was amazing.
It's got a good payoff, man, and that's all I'm saying.
I like the scene when they're on the water planet and they're like, "Look at that wall over there," and then they're like, "That's not a wall, that's water." I was like, holy shit.
That was the most exciting part of the whole movie.
It is.
Dude, you guys are getting
They got that robot that's made of like boxes or whatever.
you guys are getting me heated if we're gonna talk like this.
Movie sucks.
No, it does not. That's not time.
Dude, you have to be pretty ripped to like that movie, I think.
Okay. No, you don't. I'm sober as a bird all the time. I love it.
Well,
sober as a bird, as in I'm not.
You didn't drink when you watched Interstellar?
No, I saw it in theaters.
what if
You didn't drink when you watched Interstellar?
I only sneak beers into bad movies like bad
Dark
one.
Phoenix?
Yeah, like,
What's the last movie you saw in theaters?
every X-Men movie I've snuck beer into.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I drank 5.
What's the last movie we saw in theaters?
I drank 5 White Claws during
I know it's
Dark
The
Phoenix.
last movie I saw in theater might be Rise of Skywalker.
I went and watched It 2 in theaters.
I did see it too in theaters as well, but I think that was I think that came out before Rise.
Yeah, I didn't see Rise of Skywalker until it was on Disney.
Okay, so I'm thinking that might be the last one because that was December 2019.
When did the last one I saw? It was either Rise of Skywalker because I did see that in theaters.
And then because like
it wasn't the last one. The last movie I saw in theaters, oh for sure, the last one I saw in theaters was the Dead Don't Die.
Oh, that's a great.
oh
movie.
my god, that movie was great.
That's a
I
great.
saw it in
movie.
theaters. Yeah,
That's
I didn't
crazy.
see it in theaters, but I loved
What
it.
sucks about living where I live is we don't get movies like that. That's the
See-
one with Bill Murray, right?
yes.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw it
and Adam Driver.
on Amazon.
Great
Great
movie.
movie.
The
Yeah,
I
it's
also-
weird.
to be honest though, I don't see a lot of movies in theaters though at all. I actually even pre-COVID never really. I don't really go watch a lot of movies in theaters. The last movie I had seen before It 2 in theaters was either It 1 or when we went to Spider-Verse.
Star Wars or Spider-Verse. That's right. Went to Spider-Verse, which was awesome.
So that's crazy. I hate that movie. I'll tell you why in a second.
No, I already know why you don't like the.
I don't like the animation. I don't like how they made the villains look, man. And I don't like how the Doc Ock chicks' arms look like condoms.
Dude, you just don't like chicks, man, and I get it.
You like women.
It's her arms. I thought she was a great character
Okay, Ward.
because it threw me for a loop that she was Doc Ock's child. Like that was pretty crazy. That was a big
Ward hates women.
Yeah, it's crazy that Ward hates women, but
Love you, Ward.
so does Sean.
Hey,
Clearly.
Ward and Sean hate women.
I don't like Doc Ock's arms looking like condoms. It has nothing to do
Dude,
with her
And
side.
I get it, man. I get it, man. Art's hard to appreciate, but
By the way, no, and it wasn't even so I could bypass the condoms. The way they made Goblin look was so dumb, dude.
I thought it was
I
sick.
thought it was cool that they made him look like a fucking dragon.
Yeah, it was sick.
Okay, you're trolling me. Also,
But it was a
The
good
last-
movie.
so which is crazy that you say that, Derek, because I come to town for the 4th of July and you're walking out of the theater after Midsummer like some sick, demented.
Oh, is that
I
the
thought
last movie I saw in theaters?
Well, no, it
That
would
was-
probably it would
that
be
was
It
way
too.
before.
Midsummer was before It too.
Okay, so no. I
But-
think it's It 2.
I saw Midsummer in theaters.
I didn't. I wish I actually never would have watched that movie.
Same.
That movie fucked me
But it
up.
was good.
It's a good movie.
It was good. I just didn't feel comfortable in my own skin for maybe a month.
It's not as good as Hereditary though. It's not anywhere.
Never seen it.
Oh wait! When did Us come out? I went and saw Us in theaters.
That movie was great.
Oh, after
Wait,
Midsummer.
on it. I'm on it. 2019. So maybe that year.
When did It 2 come out?
Okay, yeah, let's look.
Beginning of 2019, maybe.
I'm just looking at the. Yeah, let's see. I'll get the
So
actual.
wait, 2018 maybe.
It 2 came out, of course, September. So It 2 came out in September, and Us came out in March. So yeah, it's
So
probably
It 2 has to be the last one I saw in theaters then.
So mine is definitely not the Dead Don't Die then, because Dead Don't Die came out before the final Star Wars. So the final Star Wars has to be the last movie No, Dark Phoenix came out after both of those. So the last movie I saw in theaters was definitely Dark Phoenix. Had to have been.
So Dead Don't Die was June 2019. Hold on, I'll type in Dark Phoenix, unfortunately.
Yeah, now it's in your search history, bro.
Yeah. X-Men Dark
You're
Phoenix.
fucked.
X-Men Dark Phoenix was June
Oh.
7th. What was the Dead Don't Die? Oh, March, right?
So then the last movie I saw was Star Wars. Had to have been, because that was the end of 2019, right?
I'm glad that that's a movie that we can share together, you and I. Oh no!
Thanks,
so
man.
you saw Dark Phoenix, and then you saw The Dead Don't Die, and then you saw
Star Wars. So I feel like I redeemed myself.
You
over
did.
that time period.
Well, unless you hated The Rise of Skywalker, which I did.
I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved it. I thought the end was a little fast, and I thought that they could have like had what Finn and her maybe like smooch at least a little bit. Like, give me one smooch.
So like, for me, I think it could have been a little longer. But I also
Exactly, because they rushed the end.
I think if you hated The Force Awakens and you liked The Last Jedi, you're obviously not going to like Rise of the Skywalker. But
what if you
Because it's like The Force Awakens.
3 of those movies okay?
Then you just don't care.
Because that's kind of where I'm at. I do like the first one more because I also like New Hope. It's the same movie, but
It's not the same movie. There's plenty.
It's the exact same movie.
No, it's not.
It's a blueprint of the first movie.
No, it's not.
Of the original movie. Yeah, it is.
No,
It's just fan servicing for people who like the New Hope.
I mean, it's a fan service. It's on a desert planet, but it's not Tatooine. Jakku. It's a different planet.
But it's a little robot who has like information, and then she has to like follow the information.
That happens in the next movie too. R2-D2 has the. Oh, wait, no, that's the same.
Anyway,
movie.
The second one, I like that Rian Johnson took some chances with the movie. I don't think they were very good choices, but I like that he was like, you know what, let's kind of fuck this up. I like that. No,
and the 15 seconds of complete silence, which made everyone really uncomfortable, was awesome.
Yeah. The third one, the only thing I really don't like about it is I don't like that in the crawl, like the very beginning of the movie, they're like, Emperor Palpatine's alive. I was like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Show me that. Don't tell me that.
I thought they were going to reveal. Yeah. First off, crazy that they said that in the scrolling thing.
Yeah.
And then don't do that and then like show it later. I agree.
Yeah, I don't know, or just show that scene. I mean, it's like a creative writing 101, like show, don't tell. Don't just tell me that in the crawl. Like, what are you doing?
I think it was just Abrams' way of being like, fuck you, Rian Johnson. I hate you.
But it was like, but I do love that the Emperor is in it though, because the Emperor is my favorite Star Wars character.
So no, you do it.
Strike me down in anger. To the dark side.
So I like both directors, honestly, outside of
because I love
Star
Looper,
Wars,
which Rian Johnson did Looper. Which I don't know if you guys have watched Looper.
I have seen Looper. Zach's
I
not.
haven't seen it.
It's great. It has.
I was thinking of his indie films like Brick. You know,
Brick is great. Brick's on Amazon. I almost watched it yesterday.
Brick is one of the greatest movies ever made, and that's where he literally like buttered his bread.
Dude, you are. You know what, Zach? You're like a little secret gem, dude. You're like the diamond in the rough.
I'm about that indie stuff.
Well,
there.
It's like you talk about Brick. Well, Looper's fucking phenomenal.
Looper's a good movie.
So then you bust out Brick. You're busting a brick in my mouth right now. Like I'm just like, damn.
If you want,
if you want. I mean, I think all of the Star Wars movies have like their own little charms. Even the prequels have their own little charms. Like,
I just wish. I
just hate those.
I wish the Phantom Menace would have at least somewhere in the crawl.
Are you an angel?
And just said, by the way, you're going to want to kill yourself. Like, it's just somewhere in the crawl. They just say, by the way, this is going to suck a lot at some point.
The prequels have some of my favorite lines ever, and that's why I'll always like those movies. Like,
hey, I know you can quote this. Tell me what you feel about sand.
I hate sand. It gets everywhere.
It's coarse.
It's coarse. It gets everywhere. I fucking love that. You're breaking my heart, Anakin.
You're breaking my heart, Annie.
God, I fucking love those movies.
You turned her against me. You
Hello there.
yourself.
Also, by the
So
way, I liked Solo. So
Solo is my favorite Star Wars movie.
Solo is a great movie, and it's a shame that so many fanboys hated it because we don't get to see the sequel.
Solo 2.
A
Yeah.
sequel.
We'll get it. We'll fucking get it. Don't you fucking worry about it. Disney's gonna
They'll do a show, like a show of it or something.
Solo was my favorite Star Wars movie, hands down.
Fun.
Because
Look at that kitty cat trying to open that doorknob back there.
hold it around a second. Star Wars for me isn't about Luke. It's always been about Han Solo. So I don't give a fuck. Actually, the prequel
My favorite. Go ahead. Sorry.
the new trilogy died at Force Awakens for me. I don't give a fuck what happened in the Last Jedi or Rise of the Skywalker,
Alert.
except for when for me
Wow, you just ruined it for everyone.
the Last Jedi.
For a 7-year-old movie or whatever.
The Last
I was
Jedi.
just about to start it.
What did you spoil? What'd you say?
It's because Han Solo dies. Like, spoiler alert for like a 7-year-old movie.
Yeah.
What?
So yeah. If it's a year old and you haven't seen it, that's your fucking problem. That's my
favorite. Yeah, but that will never work for Zach. My favorite Star Wars.
I haven't started it. I haven't even heard of it yet.
My favorite
year.
Star Wars
I didn't
movies
even
are
know it was
the
introduction.
Family Guy versions of them.
I see. No.
The first one's pretty good.
Dude, Blue Harvest is so funny.
It's pretty good.
You told me that.
Aren't you?
Do it, dude.
Aren't you a little fat to be a stormtrooper? Why don't you stay here and rot, you stuck-up bitch?
Chris.
That was a really good impression.
Thank you. I also like the third Family or the second Family Guy one where
I looked at the first two.
I watched them all, but because they're hilarious. But I love the
Do you like the robot chicken ones too? Then
Love
they're
them.
awesome.
Love them.
I love Robot Chicken in general, though.
so I never liked Family Guy, so I never gave it a chance.
I think you would like those. You could tell that they very much appreciate the movies, and I think that's why I like them.
And the episode of Family Guy where Chris is kind of playing Seth, he's playing himself, and he kind of points out to Peter that they're just knocking off Robot Chicken. That shit, people forget about that.
It's
that
so
kills
good.
me.
I believe Robot Chicken's already done this. But,
And then basically Peter just points out that no one watches that show. And like,
oh, what? So like to the audience of 7.
so good.
Oh, but on the second on Return of the Jedi, the Family Guy version, when she's like, "I love you," and Han Solo's like, "Fuck off."
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
you can tell they do have a genuine appreciation for the movies. Yeah.
I think that. Anyways, so my pitch, I gave you guys my pitch. I think it kind of developed into a great conversation that went about for the last 30 minutes.
This is a sports show.
No, it's not. Not today, it ain't.
No,
I mean, it was, but I mean, the first 20 minutes was
shows. The middle part was
American Summer.
For anyone tuning into this, right, like just now, go watch the replay and just watch the middle part if you want it in sports.
I mean,
Ward will do it in post. It's fine.
If you want the middle part, I'll recap.
Ward will do it in post, but you might get to the part where he says that he hates women, and then he might not do it for us.
I think Daddy Ward might kick us off the channel.
No,
we're guys.
no, oh damn it! You were one beat ahead of me on that. You were one beat ahead of me on that. And that's so good. I was gonna say we're not women.
we get second chances.
God, you were one beat.
So
ahead of me on that.
I'm actually gonna have so you know how our show is very unorganized.
No,
Dragons,
this is all
Ghouls,
scripted.
Dragons, Ghouls, and Spaceships is gonna be very organized.
Oh, okay.
I literally have a prompter.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna have notes about the movie. I'm gonna be ready to go.
Those are always the best shows.
So is that why we have 6 eyeballs?
We have 3 now. We have not been talking about sports.
Because they were probably trying to watch a sports show.
I'm gonna
No, we used to partially script shows, and they went really smooth. Actually,
So
it's hard to do outside of football season.
We also didn't do a show last week though, too. So this has been like catch up 2 hours. Also,
yeah, but we still ain't talking about sports for 20.
We're just hanging
out.
I'm
gonna wrap this show up though. We can stay on, but I am killing this episode.
Yeah. We didn't even do an intro.
We did not.
Hey, let's do it now and then end with it.
No, do the yeah. Can you cue up the intro, and then when it cuts to one of us, instead of one of us, can you show that bowling clip that I sent?
Oh my god,
that was a lot of production.
We are. Is it the highlight?
Who do you think you are? I am.
I am.
I'll tell you what I could do is I could do that, or I could just hit end broadcast and we can just hang out here.
Do you listen to the dollop?
No.
Okay, we'll talk about that in a second. I think we should do the intro that we didn't do. I'll shotgun a beer we'll cut. I'll shotgun a beer and then we'll cut and then we'll kill it.
I think I should give him time to go get the beer.
Oh my god, I love that you came back.
I just saw him running and I'm like, he's not gonna make it in 30 seconds.
No, he. He's just chugging a beer.
That's not shotgun a beer.
I didn't want to spill it everywhere.
Fair.
But
it's super cold. All right, thanks for watching.
Best friends.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Like we're just starting. No. Bye everybody. Have a great weekend. Go watch sports. Oh, it's fine.
Tune in for dragons, ghouls, and spaceships.
Yeah, or that other spin-off show where I just tell you what movies Zach has not seen. Or
it's just called movies Zach hasn't seen.
And
we'll be talking about Space Jam 2 on it.
Zach's
Never
version
heard of it.
Bye everybody.
My version, yeah.